to another A-Level Computer Science video with me, Mr Goff, for mrgoff.com. This video will focus on programming to an interface and protection modifiers in object-oriented programming. An interface is effectively a blueprint of the methods that a particular class should implement. A programmer knows what methods a class that implements a certain interface will perform, but not how they will be carried out. Perhaps in implementing a game, you would create an interface called movement that implemented the methods move forward, move backwards, move left, and move right. Each sprite that implemented the interface could define its own method, allowing them to move differently and at different speeds. Python doesn't have built-in support for interfaces like other languages, such as Java or C#, but it can still be achieved through duck typing and abstract base classes, or ABCs for short. Interfaces make code more readable, and this in turn makes them easier to maintain. They help provide structure and organization to your code. Interfaces also improve testing, as it's easier to understand whether the system is behaving as expected when it's clearer what we expect each class to do. Duck typing refers to the Pythonic expression, if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. This means that even though there is no method specifically for providing an interface, we can make something that behaves like one. Below is an example of duck typing. The makeItSpeak method expects its parameter to have a speak method. We don't need to explicitly say an object implements a method, as any method that has the required methods in it fits the interface and can use the method. In this case, any object that has a speak method can use the makeItSpeak method. While this method provides for simple implementation, it also calls for care, because we can see, like in the example here where we pass the rock as the object to this method, that it will lead to an error, and these sort of errors would only be picked up when you try to run the code. An abstract base class is the explicit way to define an interface in Python. First, you need to import the abstract base class module and create a specific abstract base class by passing ABC as the argument. All this says is that any class inheriting the animal abstract base class must implement its methods. In this case, there's just one method. It must implement speak. A key feature of object-oriented programming is information hiding, where objects must interact with each other through their methods. The public, private, and protected modifiers allow us to enforce information hiding. If something is marked as private, a symbol minus will be used in UML diagrams. Private attributes and methods are available only from within the class where they are defined. Protected will be given the symbol of a hash. Protected methods and attributes are available from within the class where they are defined and in subclasses of that class. Public attributes and methods are available from within the class where they are defined, subclasses of that class, and from outside the class by reference to an instance of that class. For instance, cow.speak would make the object cow use its method speak. In UML diagrams, a public attribute or method will use a symbol of plus. Most attributes are private, so they have to be accessed and modified via their methods. Attributes in a parent class will be protected, so they are also accessible in the child classes. Most methods are public, so that other objects can use these to interact with the objects. Private and protected methods would be used for methods that perform functions that are only ever required within the class. Consider the example of a method that would allow us to calculate the cost of delivery for a particular sales order. The sales order class would have a method that does this, but it wouldn't be required by other objects outside of the class. It would only ever be required when calculating the cost within the class. This would be an ideal method to have as either private or protected if it needs to be used by child classes. In UML diagrams, attributes and methods are marked with either minus for private, hash for protected, or plus for public, like you can see in the example below. That brings us to the end of this video on programming to interfaces and protection modifiers. Join me again soon when I'll be looking at reverse Polish notation. Use the resources at mrgoff.com to help you revise computer science. And until next time, it's bye for now.